ABC. It is Old Metal Rocker 65 here with, I think, installment number 4 of Flashback 70s, where I showcase bands from the 70s you've heard, maybe not heard. Underground, could be early metal, doom, could be hard rock, bluesy hard rock, straightforward rock and roll, you know what I mean, but progressive, heavy metal, so forth. But if you're new to my channel, just hit the subscribe button and the bell. You get all episodes, and hit the like button. And if you got any comments, leave them below. Anyway, start out this Flashback 70s comes from this progressive rock band that they were formed in like '69 with brothers Colin and Stuart Goldring, and a few other musicians, and they formed this band here. Hard to pronounce, and I know I'm going to butcher it. It is Gnidrolog with Lady Lake, the album here. If you like Yes, this is very Yes reminiscent vocal stylings anyway. There's some flute in here, harpsichord in here, but they played with Bowie, Colosseum, King Crimson, Gentle Giant, Wishbone Ash, a lot of bands like that. And see what they're on the Four Men Records label, but early in the days, you know, they were only probably, you could only probably get them overseas. And trying to think here, but they do have 4 albums out, and this was their second one here. They have In Spite of Harry's Toenail from '72, Live '72 in 1999, and Gnosis in 2000, and that's the last known stuff we have from kind of a proggy rock, little jazz infused, yes-ish sounding, but good stuff. Gnidrolog up next. Band really didn't, this band didn't put out a whole lot of material. They come out of '69. We're coming to a close, and Lloyd Landisman and Mark Mayo met at Forest Hills in New York City, and kind of went through a few bands, and then they were joined. Let's see, who was that? They revamped the Umbrellas, and the current guitarist from Forest Hill, and they knew Lloyd, so they kind of 3 of them met. And the name of the band is Haystacks Balboa. And as far as I know, this is the only album these guys came out with. They do have a 7-inch single out there, but it definitely has a deep purplish sound. You know, back in them early days, '69, the late '60s, early '70s to the mid '70s, a lot of these bands were kind of honing their own progressive rock sound. So they weren't really, I don't think they were really learning from a lot of other bands who were actually new to the scene, like these guys were. You know, so I mean, they may have heard progressive rock, you know, from probably more of the well-known, maybe krautrock bands, English bands, but this is actually a really keyboard heavy-driven album. I mean, it's just fantastic stuff. Haystacks Balboa. Originals are really hard to find. This, of course, is on Polydor. And of course you have Mark Mayo on guitar, Lloyd Landisman on keys, Mark Plott on bass, Mark Babini on drums, and Larry Cannon on vocals. So, kind of this is an underground gem of an album. Haystacks, Balboa, I'll give you a little more here. Progressive, yes. Keyboard heavy, yes. Definitely have that Deep Purple sound. Maybe some dry heap in there. But again, these guys were come out in the 60s, so they were new to the scene as far as progressive rock was going. Anyway, there you go. Haystacks, Balboa from the fabulous 70s, number 2. Up next, a band out of New York City, formed in '68 by Jim Marvin, Gary Collada, Larry Wegman, and Rocky Caller. They were influenced by Mountain Deep Purple, Grand Funk, you know, so again, they were trying to make their own sound, and I'm talking about Sabatis and Warning in the Sky. On the hype sticker it has, from the psychedelic catacombs of New York comes underground hard rock band Sabatis with the whole unreleased album from '70. Pure heavy psych song with devastating Hammond organs, yes, and guitar which brings to the mind other obscure acts like Jungle. Now Jungle, I've never heard of Jungle. I went looking for Jungle, I couldn't find anything. But these were recorded from the master tapes. You know. And in 2011 they released, the demo remained unreleased. And I do believe a lot of that, some of that went on to this album here. And Warning in the Sky is what you get here. Again, more prog rock innovators. They're on the Outsider label. Very cool label. Kind of reminds me of the Vertical Squirrel, the way it swirls in there, but has the lettering. So, Sabatis, Warning in the Sky. A little bit more for you here. Unknown bands. Great stuff. So there is Sabatis. What was that? Number 3. Number 4. Comes from a band out of Spain. Now, there's not a whole lot about these guys. I think these guys were more of a 3-piece band. And again, a lot of this stuff was previously unreleased stuff. And the band is called Tapaman. It's got like an obi strip here. But anyway, here's what it says. Spanish Monster Rarity from '71. Legendary psychedelic hard rock album with prog and blues influence by this extremely underground hard rockin' power trio from Barcelona, Spain. The lineup features Max Sunyer on killer guitar, later in Iceberg, and Tappy on drums just after leaving the band Maquino. And their sound has a Black Sabbath, Cream, Mountain, Thin Lizzy, Amboy Dukes vibe. Another kind of one and done album from these guys, you know. They didn't really get the success, the label, you know, back in them early days. But Anyway, that is Tap 'Em, and here's some more for you here. Very raw sounding. I mean, so much great stuff back in them days that has yet to even be heard. And I'm just trying to bring it to you guys because I know some of you will love it. Some of you, it's probably not your cup of tea, but that's okay. You know, I love it. So anyways, Tappy Man. Let's see here. This is, another band that has very influential Deep Purple keys in this. This came out in '71. Hard rock, progressive rock. Band is called Virus, and the album Thought. And this is definitely organ-driven progressive rock. Not real. I don't think it's real flowery, you know, like some of the progressive rock bands did. It had that more of a flowerier, psychedelic style. Where this is more heavier keyboard organ driven. Again, just a band that just only put out one, and the only thing that kind of lacks in here are the vocals a little bit. The vocals, I think, could have been a little bit stronger, probably mixed a little bit better. But still, it's still a good album. And anyway, what was that? Number 5 in the week, or in the weekly 6-pack. The Fabulous or Flashback 70s. So, Virus, yes. Next one, last one in this week, in this 6-pack. Comes from another Spanish band. Definitely has that doomy edge. Has that early Black Sabbath vibe. You can hear it. And this actually came out originally, I believe this came out in '69. But the band is called Warlock from Spain. And they're on the Samanora label. I believe that's a Spanish label. And the album is called 40 Anos Antes from Warlock. But they do a version of Paranoid on here from Black Sabbath. And just some killer stuff. Very raw. Definitely hear that raw sound from them early days. But yeah, Warlock. Yes, there is. There are a couple bands that come to mind to me that were very, very early metal bands, but very rarely bands or people really never heard. Of course, we knew Black Sabbath. Of course, there's this Warlock, and another band is Iron Claw. Go over to YouTube, search out their music, and tell me. Skull Crusher from Iron Claw. Go listen to that. Tell me that is not a metal song. But anyway, that is all I have this week for Flashback 70s. And I'll be back again next week with some more great 70s music for you. And if you got any comments, leave them below. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and you'll get updates of future episodes coming up. And as always, take care, everybody, and keep it heavy.